All right, listeners, buckle up. We're about to take a deep dive into Chapter 4 of Bola Agbulu's Impact, the effect of momentum.
This one's called Revving Up for Maximum Impact, the need for speed. So
I
we
would
get into how speed fuels success.
In pretty much every aspect of life, not just,
With a physical sense.
Right off the bat, Agbula throws out this quote that honestly really got me thinking. Personal development occurs when one competes with oneself. In life, the attainment of goals and the time to completion are both valued.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But what popped out at you when you read that?
Well, for me, it's about recognizing that time is a valuable resource. We're not just aiming for goals, we're aiming to reach them efficiently.
It's like we're all in a race against ourselves to hit those goals faster.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think of that classic fable, the tortoise and the hare.
Right.
Slow and steady wins the race, but I think Agbula is saying it's more about finding that sweet spot.
Right.
That pace that blends speed and strategy.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. He does use some pretty compelling examples, too. Like, think about Alexander the Great conquering most of the known world in just about 10 years.
Yeah, back then, that's some serious speed.
It's not just the speed, though. It's the strategy behind it. His lightning-fast marches, always catching his enemies off guard.
Maintaining that momentum.
Exactly, and achieving victory in a crazy short amount of time. Agbula even connects this to, get this, the Book of Daniel, the swift goat overcoming the ram.
Calculated speed, agility, using speed as a strategic advantage. Okay, I gotta bring this up. Full disclosure, this chapter took me right back to my childhood. Speed racer, anyone?
Ah, yes, with his Mach 5.
That's the one. Pushing limits in that super fast car, always finding creative solutions on the fly. I mean, what can we learn from Speed Racer, even as, adults?
Yeah.
Besides wanting a car like the Mach 5, is there a deeper message?
Oh, absolutely. It's about that fearlessness and adaptability. Never shying away from a challenge, always ready to adjust his approach. Invaluable qualities, really, especially today.
It's like he was a master of improvising at high speed.
Ooh.
Which brings us to some techniques we can use in our own lives. The chapter talks about the Pomodoro technique and the Eisenhower matrix. Have you ever tried either of those?
Both are so effective for time and focus. The Pomodoro technique with those 25-minute work sprints and short breaks.
Yeah.
Fantastic for beating procrastination, keeping a steady, focused pace.
And the Eisenhower matrix?
That helps you prioritize, based on urgency and importance. Make sure you're not just reacting to the loudest demands, but focusing strategically.
I like how Pomodoro breaks things down into manageable chunks. Even big tasks feel less daunting.
Right. And Eisenhower is like a roadmap, making sure you're heading in the right direction with your time and energy, working smarter, not just harder.
Speaking of the real world, the chapter brings up Apple Inc.
Oh, yeah.
A perfect example of speed, innovation, and execution all coming together.
Constantly pushing boundaries, bringing out new products at a pace that's hard to match.
It's like they've got the quick launch down to an art form, always staying ahead of the game.
But the chapter does make a crucial point, though. Speed without strategy can be disastrous.
Right. Like having all the horsepower in the world but not knowing how to handle it. It's about knowing when to hit the gas and when to, pump the brakes.
Exactly.
So it's not just being fast, it's being intentional, having that roadmap. Where do we want to go?
That's where mental agility comes in. You have to process information quickly, make decisions efficiently, and adapt to changing circumstances.
It's like mental dexterity, being able to swerve around obstacles and stay on course.
And the chapter goes into some really interesting ways to train our minds for that kind of agility.
Almost like mental fitness training.
It is. Agbula actually talks about regular exercise, not just for the body, but for boosting cognitive performance.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Studies show it can improve attention, memory, decision-making. And it doesn't have to be just the gym. Learning a new language, brain games, even good conversations can help sharpen that mental agility.
It's like giving your brain a workout, building those mental muscles.
Exactly. And speaking of training, those time management techniques we talked about, they're not just hacks, they're mental training tools.
You're actually teaching your brain to focus, prioritize, and make decisions better.
Right. It's about building those good mental habits and, of course, minimizing distractions.
Oh, those digital sirens.
Exactly. Agbula suggests creating a mental sanctuary, maybe setting times for emails, turning off notifications, even using apps that block distracting websites.
It's like building a mental fortress to protect that focus. so you can achieve maximum speed and efficiency.
And that brings us back to the core message. Speed is powerful, but it needs to be used wisely.
Finding that balance between speed and precision,
Yeah.
impulsiveness and strategic thinking.
Exactly. That's what unlocks the true potential of speed.
So it's not about going fast just for the sake of it. It's about using speed to be more productive, more creative, and ultimately have a greater impact on the world around us.
And Agbula ends this section with a really strong statement. The capacity to start and complete faster than others is a critical component to progress and accomplishment in many aspects of life.
It's a good reminder that in a lot of fields, speed can be a real advantage. But even more importantly, it's about that internal growth, pushing your own boundaries. Now, Agbula has this helpful points to note section where he kind of summarizes the key takeaways. What stood out to you there?
Well, he really emphasizes the importance of fast thinking, balancing speed with precision, and that mental agility is key for success.
So it's not just physical, it's mental too. It's a whole approach.
Exactly. And I think that perspective is what makes this chapter so valuable. It's a framework for understanding how speed can be a catalyst for growth, for achievement in all parts of life.
It's like a mindset shift, embracing the power of focused, intentional speed. And speaking of mindsets, he also has these review questions to get us thinking. He asks, what is the term for the ability to analyze information quickly and make judgments in a timely manner? What comes to mind for you with that?
Well, mental agility immediately jumps out. But it's not just about speed, it's about making good judgments too.
Finding that sweet spot, right? Speed and accuracy. And then he follows up with, in what areas of life is the ability to think and act quickly important? I think that challenges us to look at our own lives and see where speed could be a game changer.
Absolutely. It's a prompt for self-reflection, for personal growth. Think about your strengths, your weaknesses, and where you could improve your speed, your efficiency.
So pinpoint where we can use speed for maximum impact. And to keep that inspiration going, you include some quotable quotes, really capturing the chapter's message. One that resonated with me was, the capacity to analyze information rapidly and make quick judgments is vital to success.
That's a good one. It highlights how important it is to not just gather information, but to process it quickly, make decisions efficiently.
Especially in today's world, that ability to analyze and act fast can be a huge advantage.
Yeah. Another one that stuck with me is being able to think rapidly, to adapt to changes quickly and efficiently, provides you an edge in a variety of industries.
It's that link between speed and adaptability. You have to be able to pivot, adjust as needed.
Especially in fields where change is constant.
These quotes are like little nudges to embrace speed, in our thinking, in our actions. And I like how Agbula ties this chapter back to the previous one on momentum.
Right.
He reminds us that speed drives momentum. The faster we move towards our goals, the more momentum we generate.
It's that snowball effect.
As we pick up speed, the momentum builds, and it becomes easier to break through those obstacles.
Yeah.
And then he hints that these ideas of speed and momentum will be explored even further in the next chapter, which focuses on consistency.
It's all connected.
Speed fuels momentum. Momentum drives consistency, and then consistency leads to that lasting success. Now, there's this part where Agbula addresses the reader directly, talking about the benefits of reading this chapter.
It's almost like a pep talk, a reminder that what we've learned is valuable.
Yeah, he emphasizes that by understanding these principles of speed, we can unlock our potential to be more efficient, productive, and ultimately more successful.
He highlights how this knowledge can empower us to make decisions faster, adapt to change better, and make a bigger impact in our lives.
That ability to think and act quickly is such a valuable asset in today's world. It gives us a competitive edge.
It's a call to action. Embrace the power of speed and use it to move forward.
And on that note, I think it's time for us to shift gears and explore some of the other fascinating insights that this chapter has to offer.
I agree. There's still so much to uncover.
Let's dive back in.
One thing that really hit me was when Agbula talks about speed not always being about, actually moving fast. It's about mental quickness, too. Being able to process information quickly.
It's like having that mental agility to cut through all the noise and really focus on what matters.
Exactly. Making those split-second decisions that can make or break things. And it takes us back to that idea of mental fitness training.
Those techniques we talked about, like Pomodoro and the Eisenhower matrix.
Exactly. It's not just about getting things done faster. It's about training your brain to be more efficient, more focused.
Building mental stamina for those high-speed situations.
Yes. And Agbula brings up another point about anticipating what's coming next. He uses the analogy of a chess player always thinking several moves ahead.
So it's not just reacting in the moment. It's about having that foresight, seeing the potential challenges and opportunities before they even happen.
Right, it's tied to strategic thinking.
Having that big picture view, connecting the dots between things that might seem unrelated.
And this leads to one of the most interesting parts of the chapter, where Agbula talks about flow state.
Oh yeah, being in the zone.
Exactly, that state of hyperfocus, where you're completely absorbed in the task. Time just melts away.
And you're operating at peak performance.
Agbula suggests that speed can actually help us get into that flow state more easily.
That's interesting. How so?
Well, when you're working quickly and efficiently, you're less likely to get bogged down, less distractions, less overthinking.
So your mind is fully engaged.
Right, and you can tap into that effortless flow.
Speed creates a momentum that propels you into that zone.
Exactly. And this flow state, it's been studied a lot. Psychologists, neuroscientists, they've found that when we're in flow, our brains release these neurochemicals that actually enhance focus, creativity, even well-being.
It's like your brain is firing on all cylinders.
Exactly. Agbula says being able to get into that flow state is crucial for achieving maximum impact, no matter what you're doing.
So it's not just working faster, it's working smarter, tapping into that peak performance.
Right. And one of the best ways to access flow state, according to Agbula, is by setting clear goals and really knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Knowing what you're good at, what you need to work on, and having that clear vision of where you want to go.
Exactly. He also suggests having a sense of purpose, passion for the work you do. That can really help you get into flow.
It's that intrinsic motivation. It fuels you, makes you want to push further.
And this brings us to another interesting point, the connection between speed and risk-taking.
Because when you're moving fast, you're often taking calculated risks, right?
Exactly. Agbula argues that willingness to take those risks is essential for any kind of breakthrough success.
It's not about being reckless. It's about having the courage to step outside your comfort zone. Embrace those new challenges.
Right, and being able to assess that risk quickly, making decisions under pressure, that's a key skill, especially in a fast-paced environment.
It's having that mental agility to weigh the rewards and the consequences and make those tough calls quickly and confidently.
Right. And this ties back to mental fitness training. The more you practice making those quick decisions, even in low-stakes situations, the better you'll be when it really matters.
Like building muscle memory for your brain.
Exactly. Agbula even gives some tips for this. Mindfulness meditation, role-playing exercises, even putting yourself in situations where you have to make decisions under pressure.
So actively seeking out those opportunities to grow, push yourself out of that comfort zone.
Yes. And he makes this fascinating connection between speed and innovation.
Because often the most innovative ideas come from people who can think outside the box and come up with solutions quickly.
Exactly. He says a culture of speed can actually foster innovation. It encourages experimentation, trying things out, rapid prototyping.
Failing fast and learning from those mistakes.
Exactly. And companies like Google, Amazon have really mastered this. They have this whole culture where speed and innovation go hand in hand.
They've built a system that rewards that creativity, that agility, that ability to adapt quickly to the market.
Right. And that brings up another takeaway from the chapter. Building a team that can actually operate at that high speed.
Because if you're the only one moving fast, you're just going to create bottlenecks and frustration for everyone.
Exactly. To build a high-speed team, you need the right people, the right training, and a shared understanding of why speed and efficiency matter.
So you need a group that's not just skilled, but they have that shared drive for speed, for innovation.
Right. And clear communication is key. Streamlined processes, trust, collaboration.
It's about creating an environment where everyone's aligned, everyone feels empowered, and they can contribute at that fast pace.
Exactly. And then there's the ability to delegate effectively.
Because if you try to do everything yourself, you're going to hit a wall pretty quickly.
Right. Delegation frees up your time and energy to focus on those high-value tasks.
So you have to identify what can be entrusted to others, and then give them the support and guidance they need to succeed.
Exactly. And that means knowing your team's strengths and weaknesses and being willing to let go of some control, trust others to get the job done.
So you're empowering your team to take ownership, contribute their own unique skills and perspectives.
Exactly. And this brings us to another point about feedback and iteration.
Because when you're moving fast, it's easy to make mistakes.
Absolutely. A culture of feedback and iteration is so important. It makes sure that speed doesn't come at the expense of quality.
So you can quickly identify and fix those mistakes, learn from them, and keep getting better.
Right. And that means open communication, being willing to hear constructive criticism, and that commitment to always learning.
So feedback becomes a valuable tool, a way to grow and improve.
Exactly. And one more thing that's really crucial for maintaining that high speed is effective energy management.
Right, because if you're running on empty all the time, you're not going to be able to sustain it.
Exactly. Agbula says managing your energy is crucial for focus, for productivity, and for your overall well-being.
So you have to pay attention to your physical needs, mental needs, emotional needs, take breaks, get enough sleep, do things that recharge you.
Right. And it requires self-awareness, discipline, and making your well-being a priority.
So knowing your own energy cycles, when to push, when to rest.
Exactly. And let's not forget about celebrating wins.
Oh yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the next goal and forget to acknowledge what you've already accomplished.
Agbula says taking the time to celebrate even small wins is super important. It helps you stay motivated, maintain momentum, and keep a positive mindset.
So you have to recognize your progress, give yourself credit for the effort, allow yourself to feel good about what you've achieved.
Exactly. Whether it's taking a moment to reflect, sharing your achievements with others, or rewarding yourself with something you enjoy.
It's about creating that positive feedback loop that keeps you moving forward.
Exactly. And of course, we can't forget about time management.
Time is the ultimate resource, right? If you're not using it wisely, you're not going to reach your goals no matter how fast you're moving.
Agbula says effective time management is crucial for maximizing your productivity, making sure you're making progress towards what you want to achieve.
Setting clear priorities, scheduling your time well, minimizing distractions.
It takes discipline, organization, and being willing to say no to things that don't align with your goals.
So being intentional with your time, making conscious choices about how you spend it.
Exactly. And this all ties into the need for adaptability.
Because things are always changing, especially now. If you can't adapt quickly, you're going to get left behind.
Agbula says adaptability is key for navigating uncertainty, for overcoming challenges, for seizing those new opportunities.
It's about being open to new ideas, willing to adjust your plans, and seeing change as a chance to grow.
It requires a growth mindset, learning from your experiences, and believing that you can handle whatever comes your way.
It's about building that resilience and flexibility to thrive in a world that's constantly evolving.
Right. And then there's a whole piece about managing emotions effectively.
Because when you're moving at that high speed, it's easy to get overwhelmed by stress, anxiety, all those negative emotions.
Exactly. Agbula says managing your emotions is crucial for focus, for clear thinking, and for making good decisions, especially under pressure.
It's about being self-aware, learning to identify and regulate those emotions, finding healthy ways to deal with stress.
It takes mindfulness, self-care, and knowing when to reach out for support.
It's about building that emotional resilience that helps you stay grounded and focused even when things are chaotic around you.
Exactly. And speaking of managing yourself, let's not forget about the importance of taking breaks.
It's so easy to get caught up in the momentum and just keep pushing, but we all need those moments to rest and recharge.
Agbula says those regular breaks are crucial for your energy levels, for preventing burnout, and for boosting your creativity and productivity.
It's about giving your mind and body a chance to rest.
Exactly. Whether it's a few minutes to stretch and walk around or taking a longer break to do something you enjoy.
It's about finding what helps you relax, de-stress, and come back to your work feeling refreshed.
Exactly. And of course, we can't forget about the importance of sleep.
It's essential, but so many of us sacrifice it trying to get more done.
Agbula emphasizes that getting enough sleep is absolutely crucial for your physical health, your mental health, your productivity, your decision-making, everything.
It's about making sleep a priority.
Right. Having a regular sleep routine, creating a good sleep environment.
It takes discipline, it takes self-care, and realizing that sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity.
Exactly. It's an investment in your well-being, in your ability to perform at your best.
And we can't forget about nutrition either.
Oh, absolutely. What you eat affects everything. Your energy, your mood, how well you think, all of it.
Agbula says a healthy diet is crucial for fueling your body and your mind.
It's about making conscious choices, focusing on foods that are actually good for you.
Minimizing the processed stuff, the sugary drinks, all that.
Exactly. It takes discipline, planning, and making your health a priority.
It's about seeing your body as something that needs the right fuel to thrive. What you put in directly impacts what you get out.
Exactly. And speaking of fueling your body, what about exercise?
Oh yeah, regular exercise, it's got so many benefits, both physical and mental.
Agbula talks about how important it is for boosting energy, improving mood, and just feeling good overall.
So finding activities you enjoy, making time for them, and gradually increasing the intensity and duration.
Exactly. It takes discipline, motivation, and making your health a priority.
It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good, both physically and mentally. It helps you perform at your best.
And let's not forget about the power of mindfulness.
Oh, mindfulness is so important these days. Paying attention to the present moment without all that judgment, it can really help manage stress, anxiety, improve focus, all of that.
Exactly. Agbula says incorporating mindfulness practices like meditation or yoga can really make a difference.
It helps you become more self-aware, manage your emotions better, stay grounded even when things feel chaotic.
It takes discipline, commitment, and making time for that self-care.
It's not just a trendy thing. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for your mental and emotional well-being. It can help you thrive in this fast-paced world.
Absolutely. And speaking of well-being, social connection is another key piece.
Right. Those strong connections with family, friends, colleagues, they're so important for our happiness and resilience.
Agbula talks about how crucial it is to nurture those relationships. They help you maintain a positive outlook, reduce stress, and build that support system you need when things get tough.
So making time for the people who matter most, being present in those interactions, showing up for them when they need you.
Exactly. It takes effort, it takes intention, and it takes recognizing that strong relationships are a fundamental part of a fulfilling life.
It's about putting in the time, investing in those connections, and seeing them as one of the most valuable things you have.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the power of purpose.
Having a sense of purpose gives our lives direction, that deeper meaning.
Agbula says identifying your purpose, aligning your actions with it, that's what leads to a truly fulfilling and impactful life.
It's about reflecting on your values, your passions, your goals, finding ways to make a difference that align with who you are and what you believe in.
It takes self-awareness, introspection, and being willing to explore different paths until you find the one that feels right for you.
It's about embracing your unique talents and passions, using them to make a positive impact.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the importance of courage.
Courage to face your fears, to take risks, to really grow and achieve your full potential.
Agbula emphasizes that cultivating courage is crucial for stepping outside your comfort zone, going after your dreams, and making a difference in the world.
It's recognizing that fear is a natural part of life, but you don't have to let it control you.
Exactly. It takes self-awareness, a growth mindset, and believing in your own ability to overcome adversity.
Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it.
And speaking of embracing new possibilities, what about creativity?
It's essential for innovation, for problem solving, for personal growth.
Agbula says fostering creativity is crucial in today's world, for individuals and for organizations.
It's about being curious, experimenting, thinking outside the box.
It takes a willingness to challenge assumptions, embrace different perspectives, and create environments where creativity can flourish.
Creativity isn't just for a select few, it's a skill we can all develop.
And then there's communication, such a fundamental part of everything we do.
Absolutely. Building relationships, collaborating, achieving goals.
Agbula highlights how important it is to develop strong communication skills, both personally and professionally.
Learning to listen actively, express yourself clearly, adapt your style to different situations.
It takes self-awareness, empathy, and practice.
It's not just about talking, it's about listening, understanding, and connecting with others.
Exactly. And speaking of connecting with others, what about integrity?
It's about living in alignment with your values, building trust, doing the right thing.
Agbula says cultivating integrity is crucial for both personal and professional success. It's the foundation for strong relationships and ethical decision-making.
Being honest, transparent, accountable for your actions.
It takes self-awareness, reflection, and commitment to doing what's right, even when it's hard.
Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about striving to live by your values, even when faced with challenges.
Exactly. And this brings us to another important point that
We've talked about so much already. Mental agility, strategy, risk-taking, innovation, even that flow state. It's really a whole different way of thinking about speed.
it's about using it with intention, right? As a tool to grow and achieve things, not letting it run wild. And this leads to Agbula's point about the difference between speed and haste.
There's that danger of just rushing without thinking.
Right. Haste leads to mistakes, missed opportunities. You can actually lose momentum that way. True speed, it's about moving quickly, but with purpose, with precision.
It's like that saying, measure twice, cut once, right? Even when you're working fast, take that pause to assess. Think strategically before jumping in.
I love that. Agula uses the example of a surgeon. They have to work with speed, but also with incredible precision.
Yeah.
They need that deep understanding of, well, the human body in that case.
Yeah, you can't rush a surgery.
But the principle applies to anything: business, technology, even creative work.
It's a great analogy. That surgeon, focused, moving quickly, but every move is deliberate, calculated.
And that brings us to a key point. Agula says mastering speed, it's a journey, not a destination. It's about always learning, adapting, refining.
You don't just hit a certain speed and that's it, right? You're always pushing to be faster, smarter, more efficient.
Exactly. It takes a willingness to experiment, to get out of your comfort zone, try new things. And at the end of the chapter, Agula leaves us with this really thought-provoking question. How can you leverage speed, not just to work faster, but to make a greater impact in your own life?
It's not about just being busy checking off tasks. It's about using speed to do something meaningful.
I think that's a fantastic takeaway. When you harness it well, speed becomes more than just how fast you're going. It can drive innovation, push progress, even create positive change.
This deep dive has been so insightful. We've looked at speed from all these different angles, the history, the techniques, and that shift in mindset that's so important.
I think the big takeaway is that speed is not just about going fast. It's about being intentional, strategic, finding that balance between speed and precision.
Always striving to improve and using that speed to make a real difference in the world.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners, as you go about your day, remember that question. How can you leverage speed, not just to work faster, but to make a greater impact in your own life? Keep diving deep, keep pushing those boundaries. Until next time.